Hey everybody, good morning. Walter Bergeron here. Look, if you're interested in learning about how to grow your business to massive levels and eventually exit your business, head on over to drivingforcemastermind.com and we'll show you how you can do that for your business really quickly with a quick phone call. So there's a big red button there. Just click the button and you can go ahead and schedule a call with our master growth and exit strategist. So if you're interested, drivingforcemastermind.com. Look, today we're going to be talking about exit strategies. We're going to talk about why it's so important to be able to grow your business and then have a plan for exit. Because look, when most of us think about exiting our companies, we think that that's a long ways off, that someday we'll eventually get to that, right? But the reality is that we need to start planning now. We need to start doing something about it right now if we ever want to exit on top. There's got to be a plan set in place now. Otherwise, we'll never get there. We may never be able to sell the business for the amount that we want to and fund our retirement like we're thinking. And that's exactly what our business is designed to do. Look, I pulled out some stats this morning from my book. I don't know if you read it, 8-Figure Exit Formula. As a matter of fact, if you go to drivingforcemastermind.com and have a growth strategy session, I'll send you a copy of the book and you can reference some of these pieces here. So according to a survey conducted by American Express, 60% of entrepreneurs, like you and me, guys like you and I, operating businesses, single business, multiple business, employees, no employees, whatever size it is, say that they're not on track to save the money, to have the money that they need for their retirement. 73% said that they are legitimately worried that they won't have enough money saved to live the lifestyle that they want, lifestyle they deserve, lifestyle they have worked so hard to get after they retire. And then this is going to kill you. This one I thought, when I wrote this book back in 2015, I remember seeing this and it kind of shocked me. It says that according to a study by the Small Business Administration, small business owners, listen to this, they expect to work longer in their lives than their employees. They don't expect to retire until they are at least 72 years old, while their employees have plans to retire 7 to 10 years earlier than they did. Look, I mean, this simple conclusion is that most entrepreneurs really aren't prepared. We're actually worse prepared than our own employees are. And, we don't have the ability to live off of our 401k or IRAs and investment portfolios. We're going to outlive that money unless we plan better. So here's a question for you. You probably have an answer for this already. Let me enlighten you a little bit with my own experience. I'm not sure if this works for you, but let me enlighten you in my own experience. How do many entrepreneurs intend to fund their retirement? I mean, you know it, right? That's why you're here. Their business is going to serve as their financial retirement. Their selling of their company is going to do that. Their plan is that when the time comes, they're going to sell off the business, live off the proceeds, or maybe they'll turn it over to an employee, a family member, or an employee and let them run the business and have the owner just continue to draw a salary, and that's going to fund their retirement. But there's a lot of whole problems with this so-called plan because there is this huge glut of businesses that are for sale. And while you may not believe that or not, the reality is that can be overcome. Matter of fact, if you head on over to drivingforcemastermind.com, we'll have a quick call with you and I'll show you exactly how you can overcome that. So drivingforcemastermind.com, and you can really and truly fund your retirement with your business sale if it's done the correct way. Now, the second thing is that most of us use an exit plan called hope. We just hope that it's going to come true. We hope that we're eventually going to have enough money or grow it big enough, and hope that someone's going to pay us for this business. But really, that's just a daydream. There's no reality to that whatsoever. There's not an exact step-by-step set of instructions to get you from where you are right now at this exact moment to where you truly want to be with your business sold by using hope. You're never going to have a residual source of income by hoping, by crossing your fingers, by thinking that eventually it'll get there. The exit plan is the best way to get to that point. You have to start planning now. There's no reason to wait, for one thing, because your exit strategy does not interfere with your growth strategy. The way you're growing now does not get slowed down or a loss of focus by thinking about your exit strategy. And I can tell you that really quickly over a quick phone call. If you go over to drivingforcemastermind.com, we're happy to jump on a phone call with you. And you just click the big red button there, drivingforcemastermind.com, and we'll go and talk to you about exactly what we mean by not relying on hope to grow your business and then eventually to exit your business. And the last thing I wanted to talk about quickly this morning was that, look, if you're unprepared, you're going to suffer. And the only reason I say this is because I've seen it so many times with our consulting clients that are 65, 70, 75 years old, and they have no plan. They are still under this delusion that some, knight in shining armor is going to come and buy their business and fund their entire retirement. And they usually just wind up letting the business shut the doors. They don't get what they need from the company for their retirement. They're suffering greatly. They've got more medical expenses, typically because they're older. In some cases, they're helping other family members. This really hurts. They're trying to support another family member, usually a son or a daughter or a grandson or something that has run into some tough times, and they're trying to help that person, and they have not secured enough money from their existing business to be able to help the other person and help themselves to retire. So I've seen many 70-year-olds that simply are working just to be able to support a much younger person, not more capable, another person that needs that help. And so I feel for them. I know that that's important to a lot of people, to be able to help their family, help their friends, help their community. But you're not able to do it if you haven't prepared the business big enough, grown enough, with enough income and profit to be able to do those things at the level you want to do them. So if without a plan, without this strategy, there's a lot of suffering that goes on. It hurts me a lot when I see this. So I get calls all the time from business owners that are stuck. They've put their business for sale on the websites, or they hired a broker and they never got the offers. They never got the money that they thought that they deserved. And it was all because they simply didn't prepare long enough in advance or early enough in advance. They waited to the last minute thinking that the sale of their business is this completely different time in operating their business. That is totally different. So when you go from growing the business to selling the business, that there's this one day, this line in the sand that's drawn. And so yesterday we were growing, today we're selling. And that's not how it happens at all. The reality is that you should always be growing your business with the exit in mind. And so that way, when that day comes, and that day will come, there's no way to avoid it, right? 100% of businesses eventually end. That there's no question it will end at some point. Why not end on your terms versus someone else's terms? So if you think you're going to get top dollar, this is what I really want to get from you. So if you're unprepared, there's a potential that you will suffer greatly. I don't want you to do that. There's a lot of, you're really delusional if you think you're going to get top dollar for your business nowadays, with all these businesses on the market, all of them competing by just driving down prices and not really doing a very good job of all these 7 million privately held companies with employees that are going to be up for sale in the next 20 years. There's this huge supply of businesses. And if you're going to be stuck in that glut without a plan, you're going to be stuck with a low price and a Me Too business, because your business looks just like the guy down the street, looks just like the guys across the country if you haven't prepared. So there is a way to get around that. There is a way to make your business a whole lot more prepared when it does come time to sell. And that's why I'm talking about growth with you today. Growing for the exit is of extreme importance to you right now. And so if you head on over to drivingforcemastermind.com, jump on a quick call with our master growth strategist. While you may be thinking about exit, that's the plan to get there. The growth is the plan for the exit. You've got to be growing for you to exit on top. So look, I guess I want to leave today with one thing, that the successful business owners that have been able to sell their business to fund their retirement, and whether that retirement is living on the beaches, sailing around the world, or it's jumping into the next business venture like I did because I was 42 years old, funding that quote-unquote retirement only happens when you've prepared the business for the sale. So what I'd like you to do is please at least start thinking about the exit strategy that you have for your business. And you don't have to do it on your own. Again, that book's available for you. I'll give you a copy of it if you jump on a call with our master growth strategist by going to drivingforcemastermind.com, clicking the red button. You can jump on a call. He'll show you some plans that you may have. It won't cost you a thing. It's a free call. He's happy to do it for you, especially if you're suffering, if you need some help with the exit strategy of your business. And that doesn't mean you have to be 70 years old. You could be 30 years old and thinking about your business. We've got a client, Dan, that's actually just started, and he's already starting to think about exit strategy. He's 22 early 20s. I think he's in his early 20s, and he's already thinking now. And that's really smart, because now he knows the plan for his business, how he's going to grow it, how quickly, how large, and then start to plan the business exit for himself, because now he can take his time, think about the strategy he's going to use to exit, think about who he's going to sell it to, think about who's going to pay him the most for it, and who he's going to make it the most valuable for. So a little secret here is the plan for the exit strategy has got to involve finding the right buyer on the front end. You need to start thinking about who you're going to sell it to now. If the plan is to simply hope that your employees will be prepared for it, or hope there's a family member that you're going to be able to sell it to, that's a pretty terrible plan. It's not going to get you where you want to go. I know many business owners think that, you know, I brought it up for my family, I want to pass it on to them. You still should be thinking about a proper exit strategy, because you may not be preparing them for this transfer of ownership as well as you think. Many, I think the number is 20%. 20% of businesses survive from one generation to the other, meaning that 80% fail. And I think that number is right. So don't quote me on it, but I think that number is pretty close. I do know that many businesses do not succeed by being passed on to the next generation. And it's just because you don't have an exit strategy, just because you failed to plan. So there is going to be a failure if you don't do this. If you have a strategy, if you have a plan, especially if you go with someone that's already done it, then I think you have a good chance of making it succeed, a good chance of making that transfer of ownership successful. So look, head on over to drivingforcemastermind.com. I want to help you guys out. I don't want you to suffer. I don't want you to be delusional about what this exit strategy looks like. It is incorporated into your growth. So if you're 20 years old to 200 years, I don't know if anybody active 200 years old, but if you're 20 years old to 70 years old or 80 years old, you need an exit strategy. You need an exit strategy now, and you need to start right away, because it does take time to implement this exit strategy so that you can grow properly. The exit strategy is about the growth. They're they're tied together. They are one in the same, quite honestly, because that's exactly how you exit. You have a good growth plan in place. And so I think that you can have your own. So drivingforcemastermind.com, we are happy to help. It's a free call for you if you like it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching me this morning, and we'll talk soon. Bye.